Bill Gates, thank you very much for speaking with the IAEA. You're doing a lot of work on the issue of climate change and the climate crisis, but now we have the energy crisis. How has this convergence of crises affected opinions on nuclear power?
Well, climate is getting more attention, as it should, and people are realizing that you need, almost 3 times as much electricity, even in rich countries, and then in poor countries to enable their economies, you need dramatic increases even beyond that. And so if they look at that and say, oh, we also want it to be reliable, that is, when it's super cold, we still want, if you have electric heating, that to work. When it's super hot, we want air conditioning to work. And unfortunately, the solar and wind, which will play a gigantic role, trying to use that alone without a miracle in storage that we don't expect at all, it just doesn't create the solution. And so having a non-weather dependent, completely green, reliable form of energy generation that can be cheap enough means that there will really have to be some nuclear in that equation. This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to 0. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to 0. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to 0. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3. And so we need energy miracles. Nathan Mirabald and I actually are backing a company that perhaps surprisingly is actually taking the nuclear approach. The idea with TerraPower is that instead of burning the part of uranium, the 1%, which is the U-235, we decided, well, let's burn the 99%, the U-238. So this is a wish. It's a very concrete wish that we invent this technology. If you gave me only one wish for the next 50 years, I can pick who's president, I can pick a vaccine, which is something I love, or I could pick that this thing that's half the cost with no CO2 gets invented. This is the wish I would pick. This is the one with the greatest impact. We need to get the message out. We need to have this dialogue be a more rational, more understandable dialogue, including the steps that the government takes. This is an important wish, but it is one I think we can achieve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you. Just to understand more about TerraPower, right?
So nuclear is the perfect partner for renewables?
The two can go together extremely well. In fact, the TerraPower design and perhaps some other next generation designs, it can change and generate over the 24-hour period when the renewables are not fully available. So it can shift out of that, sunny, windy period of the day where, we should just let the renewables do their thing. And so designing a reliable grid that takes the nuclear piece and that renewable piece, that's an incredible opportunity, and we need to do it.